Hey everyone, welcome to this video, and I have another request today to share with you a project that I've done previously, and I am going to unpack it in a little bit different way today. So this is an accordion heart pocket brought to you by our beloved DIY pocket dies. A lot of you who follow on here have picked these up and have been putting them to use, and I'm going to show you a fun, fresh way today. Before we get totally started, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the products we're going to be using, and maybe you have these already and you can play along. So I have a piece of 49 and market paper here. This is from the Spectrum Sherbet. It's one of their solids called watermelon, but I think it's a beautiful pink color, and pink is just like the thing right now, right? And of course, you know, I love the roses. So I had a partial piece inside that I pulled out, and I'm going to use this pink as well. And as we go along, there's some embellishments we're going to be including, so I'll introduce those when we get to that point in this project. Of course, we're going to need the nested dies, and specifically, I'm going to be using the second largest size. This is make sure that's correct, and it is. So we're going to be hanging on to this little die number here. And then the star of the show, anyway, in my opinion, is this DIY pockets, hearts. And you see, I flipped it over. I like to use these 4x4 storage envelopes. And since these are both hearts, I just have them back to back in the same pocket envelope. And so I'm going to grab the small heart die because that's what we're going to be making use of today. Part of what we're going to be doing is adding some stenciling. So I've grabbed, I think I'm going to use a sponge sugar. I mean, this is always subject to change, right? I mean, sometimes we know what color we're going to use and then we get like super excited and we do something else instead. So let's hear for now. And then, okay, with that, I'm going to use, with the ink, I'm going to be using the Simple Stories Oh My Hearts 6x8 stencil. Yeah, I'm doing very heart-centric. Valentine's Day is just about a week from today, just about. But you know what? Hearts are for all season. So let's not get too stuck on, well, this is heartsy, so this is only for Valentine's. No. It's for any time. And then this is one of my favorite stencils, mini hearts. I don't even know if I can do this justice. They're so tiny and so sweet. And I'm going to make use of this. To begin, I've cut 3 pockets. I'm going to use 3 pockets today. I'm going to layer them with the pattern and the 2 solids back behind. Now, these can be any color cardstock. It could be all patterns. It could be the same color, obviously. So this is personal preference, how you want these pockets to look. The next thing I'm going to do is going to go ahead and fold on the score line these. Oops, I don't want to wrinkle my paper there. These pockets have a score line so that you can have a fold. And then generally when you're attaching this to a page, then it's making its own pocket, right? Well, we need to make a freestanding pocket. So what I'm going to do next is with each of the colors, I'm just going to trace along the outside and create a backer for each pocket. Now, if you need to go in and trim because your measurements might be a little off, you know, feel free to do that. But now at this point, you have a great pocket with a little thumb notch there and a backer. The thing I have not done yet is I have not covered this pocket yet. And that's because I want to grab this stencil and this blender and this sponge sugar and put a little bit of a pattern on top of the pattern. It's just something I like to do. I'm not actually even really sure how this is going to look with this pink, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I start to, and what I'm going to do actually, I'm kind of talking over myself. I'm just going to give a little practice run here on the inside of the pocket that's not going to be seen anyway, just to see if I like the color of this ink that's going to play over the pattern that's already on this paper. And I think I'm going to go for it because it's super subtle. Obviously this pattern's not as busy. That's just kind of a little technique there. I just want to share with you that, you know, kind of give your stencil a practice somewhere hidden if you're not super comfortable, if this isn't something you normally already do. But for the most part, I'm going to come in here and go pretty heavy all over. I'm just going to go ahead. There's different ways you can do this, right? You can just add a little bit of the heart texture with the ink, or you can take time to go over the entire surface. And it's super forgiving though too, right? And we've talked about perfectionism quite a bit on this channel. If you know, if every little heart is not perfectly stenciled on here, it's super fine. And that's how that turned out. See how subtle that is? All the hearts are pretty actually even on there. I think that's fun. It's not like overtly, oh my gosh, there's hearts everywhere. And especially when we get other things on top of it, it's going to be part of the black background and just look really nice. Okay, now we move to the heart topper. And let me explain something just for a moment. This project here was from a video I've done several months ago for the Sizzix stencil tool. In that video, I'm sharing how I go about getting this plaid background. So I will link that in the details. So if you're interested in knowing exactly how these colors came to be and this texture on this particular very specific project came to be, well then refer to that video. I'm changing this up a little bit while we're still making this same pocket. This is going to be a variation on a theme, and I love doing that. I love doing variations on a theme. Okay, so for this part of the show, I'm going to use the texture paste from Ranger. It's a really dense paste, and while sometimes when I do texture over stencil, I don't completely do the whole stencil. I am in this instance, just because you can. I mean, you don't have to. You can just come in here with just a little bit of the hearts on the pocket, or maybe right in the middle. I don't know, whatever your preference is. In this situation, I just went ahead and went all over. I just want to show you how sweet this little heart grid is. And with the Ranger texture paste, it's holding up really well, so you're getting the detail of that little tiny heart. Now this needs to dry really well, and while that's drying, we can do another part of our project. All right, so keeping consistent with the project that I already made, this last pocket holds a tag. Now I want to make another tag for this, what do I want to say? For this new one as well. I got distracted there. Did you feel the distraction? I just want it a little bit wider. I'd like it to be the full width. I think I might have punched that from a die, but this time I want to go the actual width of my pocket. And you know, this can be, and actually as I'm doing this, I'm thinking out loud that I actually do want this to be a pattern paper that I'm going to have sitting inside here. So I'm going to eyeball where I think this is going to be wide enough, but also fit inside the pocket. Then I'm going to give it a little bit of room, and I need to straighten that up. I realize that. I'm going to give it a little bit of room of how much I think I want sticking out. And I know this is total eyeballing it, right? Totally eyeballing what we're doing here, and that's okay. And then I have a 1-inch circle punch that I'm going to use to create a little tab at the top. So let's bring our trimmer back in here, and I love this trimmer because it has a little notch here on the actual cutting apparatus, so I can see exactly where it's going to cut. And same with down here. Then I'm going to flip it and then just cut it there at the end. And remember, don't cut your finger. Okay, so I'm just going to check this here. And yeah, I might need to trim it just a tad more, because I don't want it to be that difficult coming in and out of the pocket. Oh yeah, I like that. And I like how I like how tall it is. Okay, so I'm really bad at knowing how to trim my corners. So if I already have a pre-made tag somewhere, I use that as a sort of template when I want to make another tag shape. And so, because I'll be just cutting my corners all the live long day and never get them symmetrical. It's a problem. So like, let's just eliminate the problems in our lives and find a solution. So that's my solution. Pop that in there for now. Yep, love it. Okay, so then taking the little circle punch that I created, and I'm going to need some ribbon. So let me go grab some ribbon. At this point, we're going to go ahead and adhere the pockets to each other. Now, the way I like to do this is kind of what forms some of the technique that you're seeing here. I'm grabbing this 3/4 inch adhesive double-sided tape from ScrapbookCom. You've heard me talk about it before. It's one of my favorite adhesives. I use it all the time. It's super strong, so it's a good sort of adhesive for this kind of a project. And see, this is how you're getting sort of that accordion vibe, is by having the adhesive just right here in the middle. Don't need a lot. Maybe even a 2-inch strip might be a little too much, but it's what I grabbed, so it's what we're going to use. And then layer on the pockets. Obviously, you can see you can have more pockets. You can just do 2 pockets. And this is a great element for, I'm deciding whether I liked having that pattern there because it doesn't give me a lot of contrast. Forgetting that this was my first pattern, I might make a different tag for this because I think I want a different pink to show through. Anyway, that's how my mind is working here. So you might see that change up here in a minute. Anyway, so this is obviously a great item to just give to somebody like it is as a sort of card. It could be a piece if you use even the smaller pockets for even on your memory planner pages or on a scrapbook page. So let's continue with the embellishing. We are going to wrap this up. I liked on my previous project that we're kind of referring to here, I liked to put this 1/8 inch foam adhesive on the flaps of the heart die. And just, of course, we know why, right? Just a little bit more elevation, a little more texture. I mean, gosh, I can't have anything laying flat now, can I? Nope, pretty much no. So that is one way. You can go in and just go flat, but I like to add this little technique to it. So I already put some ribbon on here. This is some May Arts ribbon that's in my stash. Just kind of lining that up here. There, so you can see now that that gives it a little bit more height there on our cover. I did change up the tag here and just made that solid. Then I added just a little notched piece and adhered it inside of this front pocket so it's not coming out, but it just kind of creates another layer, right? And then, of course, we have to have some florals. These are from the brand new Sunny Lane florals. There's 27 pieces. Can't wait to get to those flowers. On my list, people, on my list. I think I'm going to come in here and take a couple. I have several of these. You wonder what I'm grabbing for? I'm grabbing for a couple of these. There are 3 different leaves in that set. And so I have die cut them each twice, so I have 6 little pieces to work with here. Probably won't use them all, but if you've watched me put together, what are they? The brush stroke flower mini, if you've watched that video yet, that was out, I believe this week, then I'm kind of doing the same thing here. Yes, I'm laying down a piece of double-sided foam tape. I'm going to press these in here. Could use tape. Would really love to use hot glue because hot glue is my love language. And then I'm probably going to add one more of these maybe in here. We'll see. Then I've already cut out this little notched banner, which I'm actually going to fold here. And then from Beautiful Things, from the stickers, there's a love you. It's also going to get double-sided adhesive in that 1/8 size, if I can get it on there. And And I'm going to pop that on my notched tag. Just layers, just adding more layers, right? And see how everything is just going to kind of tuck in there like that. So then to finish this little piece off, I'm trying to make a decision. I already have this on my desk, so I'm going to use this. I'm just going to double it up though. So I have this fold back here, which also is just another way to kind of give a little bit more depth to this little piece of a banner here. A notched banner, notched flag, notched tag, whatever you'd like to call it. So I have those in place. Going to take off the backer paper and get that settled on the front of our heart here. Let's see, I'm going to kind of always, like always, going to kind of play with it. Going to kind of probably go up like this a little bit. Pull it up a tad. Just enough to make it look like it's actually pulled up. And I know I'm going to want this in here. I'm going to see what it looks like going this way. I think it's going to be okay, but it's a little long and I'm going to need some glue. I love making these. I love making these kind of layers. This just makes me happy. This right here makes me happy so much. All right, that is our accordion pocket. Look at all the room for love notes. You know what I realized? We're going to fix this right now, because what I should not have done is wrapped my ribbon all the way around. So how are we going to fix that? This is going to be a very unorthodox way of fixing it, but we're going to fix it. It should have gone around the first pocket. That was my mistake. So as we finish this video up, we are able to move this up here. Going to grab some more of my favorite tape here. Now you could go ahead and pull all these off. I've been known to do that. And you don't really actually want it to be that big, because you don't want this front pocket to adhere where it's not supposed to either. So just right there on the edge, go in here with a little tool and carefully pull up your backer paper. And then wrap this inside. Just push it in there. Ah, we fixed it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to trim this down just a tad. Not too much, because I want to be able to actually tuck it, right? Fixing our mistakes in real time. This was not completely ideal, so the caveat here is make sure you wrap, if you're using ribbon, make sure you wrap it around your first pocket before you attach your pockets together, and that way you still have great use of the whole accordion vibe that we're doing here. Okay. Hey, we fixed it, and it's no worse for wear. We still have our accordion vibe going on here. You've got room for pictures, for tags, for cards, for gift cards. A gift card's going to fit in here. And that's how we create this little accordion envelope pocket. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for hanging out to the end and seeing how we can fix our mistakes. That's always a good thing as well, too. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And I will see you in the next video.